I'm tapping in, I'm tapping in, I'm tapping in, I'm tapping in. Thank y'all for tuning in to Yo Cuz Podcast, man. Y'all know what it is. It's 8 p.m., baby. I'm 4 minutes early, baby, but y'all know what it is, man. Thank y'all for tapping in to Yo Cuz Podcast, man. Like I say, we lit tonight. We lit tonight. We got Mr. Teacher coming back, and we got Misunderstood coming back to the show tonight. The day is Tuesday. Y'all know what it is. Let's get it popping, man. Y'all know, y'all know, y'all know. Listen, let me show my appreciation. Y'all know, I know people is so busy and they got something to do, but listen, the people that I bring to this podcast ain't nothing but 100 people. You know what I'm saying? Always been 100 and they still 100 from back then. Them the type of people you want to surround yourself with. You get what I'm saying? So guess what? I'm going to give a shout out to all my guests that been coming on the podcast for almost 2 months now. Y'all know what it is. Thank y'all for tapping into Yo Cuz Podcast, man. Thank y'all for coming to the show. Thank y'all for giving me y'all hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I appreciate all that. Yes, I do. I appreciate all the love, man. Thank y'all for subscribing to this YouTube channel, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I appreciate all the love that y'all is giving me, man. Thank y'all for tapping in. So listen. Mr. Teacher gonna come on tonight. Misunderstood gonna come on tonight. They're gonna turn the party up. Y'all already know what they do. They get busy. Every time they pop in, they get busy. For real. Shout out to all my guests, man, that pulled up on me, man. I appreciate all the love, man. Yes, I do. Y'all know I do. Y'all know I do. I appreciate that time that y'all put in. Y'all know I do. So listen, loyal. We gonna be loyal to each other. We ain't gonna play no games. For real, like real talk. We are going to be loyal to each other. We ain't going to play no games. Straight up, when you meet a person, you need to be real with a person. Don't argue with a person. Don't start offline when you meet a person because that fuck the whole relationship up. Like for real. That fuck up the whole relationship when you start online and the relationship. You feel what I'm saying? I I stopped that line thing like a long time ago. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I stopped that line thing a long time ago because I know, man, like, how can you hang around a person and they gonna lie? Just gonna keep on lying. Why? Why would you just keep lying in the person's face when you ain't really got to? So guess what? You ain't gotta be around them people. You feel me? See, that's what's wrong with us is that we think we gotta have friends. Man, you ain't really gotta have friends, bro. For real. I mean, you could have people that you socialize with, you know what I'm saying? You could build with, you could grow with, but you really ain't gotta have no friends, man. You really ain't gotta have people coming over your house, chilling, y'all smoking out. That shit is whack. That shit is out the game, man. If you want to do that, man, go to the park. Go to the bar, then go to the park, man. You know what I'm saying? Life is different when you get older, man. You know what I'm saying? I remember back in the days over on the south side, 16th Street, right? We used to hang in these people building, smoke weed, shoot dice, play the PlayStation. Dog, it was so crazy over the south side is that we put tents. We put tent on the hallway windows, right? Every floor, it was 3 levels. Either the door had tents on it downstairs that you come in. Then you had the back door of the building. So we used to keep that door locked. So when the jumpers jump out, we'll run in the building, shut the door. You feel me? Smoking weed in the house, but we always kept it clean, but we were still violating. Now I understand back then when we was trapping on these people porches, trapping on these people in the buildings, smoking in the buildings, throwing parties, doing all that dumb shit on people property and the people build on buildings. You get what I'm coming from? Now as I'm older, that I'm really paying real bills. Nah, bro. Don't come and chill on my porch, bro. Nah, for real. I'm telling you, real facts, man. Real facts. What's up, big homie?
What up, cuz? How you been?
Man, I'm cool, man. Just telling the folks, man, how when we was young, we used to trap out of the people buildings and stuff around
Mm,
Southeast. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah,
And by we was so young, we was gambling, smoking weed, hustling out the building. We was doing all the wrong things out the building now, right? So now
mhm.
I'm older. I don't even want nobody hanging on my front.
Yeah, you already know what the activity is. You already
No,
know.
just saying, as I'm older, I realized because the building we was hanging in and the
Mhm.
porch was hanging in, people was paying bills there. Now,
Yeah,
now as I'm older, I wish a motherfucker would try to come and hustle on my front.
yeah, right, right. And you paying all this money over there cutting up.
You get what
Yeah,
I'm coming from? But I mean, you got to get older to realize that. You know what I'm saying? When
right.
things really get serious, man. You feel what I'm saying? But listen, cuz, welcome to the show.
You already
You already
know.
know we got new followers. You know what I'm saying? We got new subscribers. Tell
Mhm.
these people, man, who you is, man.
Oh yeah, man. You know what it is. It's Mr. Teacher. Always on the Yo Cuz podcast Tuesdays 8 o'clock. I'm a inner city math teacher and rap. You know, I rap and then we do content. You know, we've been doing podcasts, things like that. But yeah, man, it's always a privilege, man. It's always a good time, and we got nothing but bangers. Like all of our podcasts, I would say, are like 100. You know,
No,
so
for
nothing
real.
too
Fact. I
bad.
told y'all that.
Yeah.
I told y'all that. You
Big
feel
fan.
what I'm saying? Yeah. I was telling the YouTube family how they helped us grow, bro. Because they really
Mhm.
sit here, be on here, watching us, listen to us, comment, subscribe to us. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that mean a whole lot. You get what I'm coming
Ask
from?
questions. Ask questions in the comments, y'all.
Yeah,
Go up,
fact.
go up. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Yeah, go tap in. But like, it's only getting better. We're only going up from here.
And we on 6 days a week.
That's the crazy part. That's the part they miss. Say it again, say it again, cuz. Oh yeah, misunderstood in the
What they
house.
missing?
What's up, man?
House
Yo,
party.
what's up, y'all? Miss y'all.
Man, look,
It's
we
good to be
miss you
back.
too. You already know that.
Yeah.
So look, tell the new fans and the new subscribers, man, who you is.
All right, new folks, whatever, like new family or whatever.
Um,
We just found out we cousins. We all cousins. I'm
Facts.
misunderstood. I'm a teacher. I'm a creator. I'm an innovator.
Mm.
I love to give back to people. I love to come up with new ideas, new ways to think about and talk about things. If you're looking for like my little like social media, whatever like that, you could find it. I think it's like Miss Blackman if you learning or whatever. I
mm,
don't really put too much energy into that. I put more energy into like the one-on-ones. But if you want to look for me, Instagram,
The
Miss
hustle.
Blackman if you learning. BLKMN. Yeah.
Tap in. Y'all
Okay.
already see.
Going
So
up.
look, the team is back. The team is
And
back.
back.
Game team.
You feel me? We missed you last week though, bro,
I
dog.
know, man. It hurt to not be there, but I just really I had a lot going on. I was still not for nothing. I was still coming off my birthday weekend,
Oh,
so
oh yeah,
still trying to recover a little bit.
that's
Yeah.
right. Hey, listen, that is crazy. Hey, listen, tell the YouTube family, man, what you did for your B day
All right,
because
so
you did tell them.
yeah, it was a series of things. Like I kicked the weekend off. I did like a little karaoke with some friends. Where I love karaoke. I love, you know what I'm saying.
Mm.
I love live music. Period or whatever. I'll get to that later. But I did a little karaoke. I did like a little spa morning for myself. I went to go see a live show. One of my favorite like a classic movie that I grew up on or whatever. They you know what I'm saying, they had like a little tour, whatever. So I went to go see that live. I went to see. I'm an old school. I'm '90s R&B. So I
Right.
went to go see, little Blue Eyed Soul. I saw John B. from Baltimore.
Oh,
Hey,
Listen,
look,
got the
no,
the
glasses.
mic
John
was on. Okay,
for real, young. It was lit.
yeah, yeah, the mic was on.
The boy John
So
B.
yeah. So I just did like I kept it very cute, very local. But it was jam packed with different things. I did like a little brunch and all the other stuff, whatever. But I felt loved all the way through. I didn't do
That's
anything
what's up.
grand like a trip and all of that. I got a trip coming up a little
Right,
later.
Yeah.
But for my birthday, I just really just wanted to do like I just really wanted to tap into stuff that I love.
There you go.
Instead of like trying to figure out where I can get like the most people to do things that we love. It's my birthday.
No,
It's
for
my
real.
birthday, okay? So I want to do what I want to do.
Oh, that's right.
No,
You
for
know?
real.
So
I mean,
yeah,
listen, man, I'm happy, man. You had fun though, cause
I
you know,
did.
because you know some people birthdays come around and they can't do nothing.
Yeah.
So
And
that's a blessing.
I appreciate that. It's been like that for me the past couple years where I just kept it like super duper like borderline like okay, all right. All right. Come on now. It's your personal holiday.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this year my goal was to like really like just really dive into the stuff that I enjoy regardless of anything else. Like meet me there, not meet me there, whatever. And just to get in as much fun as possible because like I gotta, especially in this day and age,
Right.
really gotta be intentional about caring
Yeah.
like
Real.
loving every single year that I get. That's the happy new year.
That's the
Honestly,
goal.
every birthday is a new year.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Exactly the goal.
yeah.
That's exactly the goal.
I feel blessed. I feel blessed off my birthday weekend. Yeah.
Man,
It
that's what's
was spring break too. That joint was lit.
yeah.
Listen, I mean, that was part of
Yeah.
the gift too. So
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
but look, it went so fast though.
I know.
it always does.
Yeah.
It
It
always
went
does.
so fast
But
though.
you know, Janet said, you know, funny how time flies. What when you having fun? She
Mhm.
been
When you
said,
having fun,
okay.
when you having fun, nah, for
Yep.
real. So listen, y'all. I got a couple of questions. You already know. YouTube
Do.
family, y'all already know we got the questions, man. The real question. That will make the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
For real. For real. For real. So listen, I got question one for you. You ready? Mr. Teacher, you ready? I'm gonna start off
Yeah.
Mr. Today.
All
All right. Question one: self-esteem and how the media depack us.
Yeah. Oh, like yeah. So the way self-esteem, like okay, the way I think about it is, I don't know. You know that one? Have you ever seen that Cat Williams comedy when he was like, "It's called self-esteem," and he was like, "How you gonna say somebody messing with your self-esteem or whatever?" But the point, but when your surroundings send you like a message, like um, like if you growing up in a single parent home or your surroundings don't look like the surroundings of people uptown, things like that. It send you a message, and we can't allow pretty much what we see to be to tell us who we are. More so, we got to know who we are, and then we can change, what we see. But a lot of times, what people see, it has an impact on them over time. It's wear and tear. And so, as far as media depictions of like black people, I mean, what y'all think? Like, how do you think since Hollywood began, black people have been depicted? Now, there's a few cases. I think Denzel is, a good case, but it's very rare, in my opinion. Like, what is the message they sending our kids? These people that run it ain't black. So,
So,
what is the message that they're sending them about who they are?
so for number one, I want you to give them the definition of depack because they probably don't know.
Yeah, so depicts like the media depicts an image, meaning pretty much they keep. Let's say when I grew up, it was like gangster rap, Tupac, Biggie beef, things like that. Like, and what a young black man, young black boy, let's say, who didn't have like a father to guide them and like be the visual, because they say boys are more visual anyway. I don't know if that's true, but if guys are more visual, I could see how you're going to just monkey see, monkey do, like follow what you see going on, you know what I mean? Like, and talk is cheap. So we like more so respect action. And so, and like, yeah, like we see somebody doing something that works, we copy that. So what they showed us was drug dealers, like what you were saying in the beginning is like, I grew up off Wayne, like people, we would have never knew what certain things was until we heard it in a rap, and then always wanted to go and try it out. And so we talked a little bit about this in other podcasts about like, okay, boom, the people that run hip hop and all this drilling that's going on, based off of rap, which So real people are dying based off of media depictions of our culture, and they glorify. They make it seem like it's cool in the short run. Everybody want to watch it because it's like watching somebody burn. You can't help but look at it, but nobody. I feel like people are. I mean, people probably have, but not enough people have been protesting what mainstream it says about who we are, and it's never positive. I just feel like it's just never been positive, and I feel like they could have, for real, black people should be able to sue Hollywood for that. Like it's like character or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's some stuff going on. Like there's some manipulation going on there. And it's not just, you know, Hollywood. Let's say Fox News, right? If I go to Fox News, you'll never hear Yo Cuz podcast, somebody that's like a good man trying to take care of his family, or Mr. Teacher, inner city mentor. They're not gonna show you that. They're gonna show you, another black guy shot another black guy, and the narrative that they now, guess who watches that? A whole bunch of policemen. Yeah, and guess who watches? A whole bunch of employers. And so not only is it shaping the way we see ourselves, employers, police, and society looks at us like this, to the point where immigrants who don't even know the language fully could look down on African Americans based on what they're seeing in the news and things like that. And it's not just it's okay. I don't really care about what other people do with it, but it's us. We can't internalize the lies.
That's the part.
And once we believe in that, that's why we engage in self-destructive behaviors, because it's low self-esteem. At the end of the day, in my life, if I'm being 100 with you, I've been at my worst when my self-esteem was low. Like, and that's against even my religion. Like Christianity is about, you know, humility and things like that. But to be honest, like if I'll be real, like in my life, I've been my worst when my self-esteem was low. And, you know, so it's like that's one of my main things. Like, don't let them break you down, because life is already hard. So anybody that's trying to add to that, you know,
it could be harder then.
Yeah. If you're trying to come up out the bottom, you need to be encouraged, and like we need to and not tear each other down. Even the way when we play ball, we be like, "You suck, you trash." Like the way we talk to each other.
For real, right?
It's because like, you know, it's crab bucket, but it's more so we haven't been given that. So it's like if society says it's about you, only negative things, you're gonna believe that. Your parents gonna believe it, you're gonna pass that, and it's nothing but perception that they're playing on. It's how we see ourselves, and that makes a world of difference about whether somebody wants to apply themselves in school or whatever. Like, are you your best self when you're hard on yourself, or when you believe in yourself? I mean, so it's like I just feel like, because it gets to the point where, you know, racism has picked a new form where they found out that we can be the agents of our own destruction if they just manipulate the way we think. You know what I'm saying? And that goes, you know, black, brown. A majority of the world is dark, bro. A majority of the world ain't white, and it ain't about white or black. But what I'm saying is, like, you be bigger in number. It's not like they any smarter than you, so they're controlling you with this lies. And when you do it their way, you at the bottom, and you're hard on yourself, and they feel good about themselves, and they can look down on you. But it's a lie, though. I guess what I'm saying. But I just feel like, because the reason why I wanted to go to the media with it is because it's like, people that want to argue that there's no systematic racism today, they're like, where do you see it? You know what I'm saying? We don't see any laws that say you can't drink, you know, do this. But like, where you still see it is the narratives and the story and the lies that are being told through social media and things like that. And when has it ever been a positive message pushed to our people?
No.
Go to school, you can make it. Go to anything positive, like, it's always like one wave after another. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, dang, like, you got to be afraid of us. We got to be something special for you to just like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and we know, and we got to know that about ourselves. Like, they know some about us that we don't know. Some of our youngins don't know about us. And they need to know who they are, for real.
Let me piggyback to when you talk about how if you keep telling somebody something, they'll start believing. All right,
that's true. Yeah.
The YN thing.
Yeah.
Out of hearing that, like that is so. They could not be YNs, but if you call them a YN, they're gonna act crazy because they know what a YN is. You know what I'm saying? So now that piggyback to every young man that being seen with a face mask on gonna be what? A YN.
Yep.
I'm saying if he got a hood on or a face mask on, he's a YN, bro. And that ain't good. That
Yeah.
ain't good, but that's what the social media and everything label the kids as, man. That's why they going so hard because guess what? They YNs.
See, it's y'all's conversation is perfect. Like, cause while you talking, Mr. Teacher, and cuz like I was thinking about like there's two ways when we talk about like even like right, Mr. Teacher said media, cuz say social media.
Yeah.
And we gotta understand like those are two separate things. We
Yeah,
also have to understand with those two separate things, like generationally is different too, right? Like if I'm like one of like a generation like the let's say the kids I teach now, I want to be a YN. I want to be seen as that, right? Because the people around me ain't gonna mess with me. Versus our generation, we would not want to be seen as a thug or whatever because of the perception, like because we're concerned about how others outside of our immediate community think about that and what the replications for it. Like there's a difference between like so like what I'm seeing now is like unfortunately in my experience and the kids I be around, they embrace the negative stereotypes. Here, for example, the baddies, the fake like how many times have I had to write kids up for fake play fighting, but they doing like this because they're emulating things, right? And so like there's a lot of like posturing, like we got a lot of like I ain't gonna hold you, kids enrolled with different addresses in places that they're not supposed to be.
Yep.
And I know you're not from this address,
right.
But you trying to put on like you are.
That's crazy.
Right, because the focus is on my immediate community, not so much so the future community, which could be a job or a school or you know what I'm saying, like a college or whatever like that. And so my like that's the thing that always challenges me, like and I think right now I'm in a season of really like rethinking words and the meanings and what we are saying or communicating with it, right? So like even like with self-esteem, I feel like they got self-esteem, but it's just like I am the most YNest YN, and that's their high esteem. But for me, I'm like that to me, I feel like you vibrating low. And so now what I see in social media is like this conversation about low vibrations. And so like even though for us, like for me, and like my discourse would be like your self-esteem is low. I feel like the next terminology would be like you vibrating very, very low.
Yeah, for sure.
Low vibration. You're not building nothing. You're not creating, and right. It gives you an opportunity to explain more versus like esteem. Yeah, I got high self-esteem. I look good. I smell good. My hair cut, and it's all like material things. Versus like your vibration, so to speak, is low. You're not generating anything positive. Tell me what positive. What things are you building? You know what I'm saying?
That's just good. No, that's amazing. Like I just want to piggyback on what you were saying because I just know, for one, it was like the posturing, but it's like, okay, I grew up around. I have like my old friends who they would have the best Jordans, chains, like they was money guys, but it wouldn't be in their account. It wouldn't be in their bank account. Everything would be on the outside.
Right.
It never is.
The posturing is the self-esteem posturing thing is like, to not get mistaken, especially young people, you need to know this. Especially, I think for me, I was a total younger version of myself that because I used to walk around with my chest out, acting like I was this and that. But what really happens is like if you got to do all that posturing, it's not really high confidence. You really, it's a defense mechanism.
You fronting. That's what you used to call it.
You're insecure. You're insecure, and it's you're posturing to mask that insecurity. You're trying to act like I'm this tough guy when for real you might be afraid. Like and stay in school, never go to prison. But this is human nature in prison. Dudes walk around like this because they feel like it's a defense mechanism. Oh, if I do this, people will leave me alone
Mhm.
Right.
and stuff like that. But really, you worried about people, in general. So it's
But
like,
see, that's the thing. Like
yeah.
Mr. Teach, like that's the thing. Like, right, it is a defense mechanism. I totally agree with you. And my concern is like again, my locus of understanding is primarily like middle school kids. What is it that makes you feel like you
Right.
got to put on to that level around a bunch of other kids that's like
Social media.
and so peed the bed last night? I know, funny, but so peed the bed last night, and you could tell. But
I
you
had
out here
that
trying to
same
front for them.
That's crazy.
So and so is dusty, got crust right here, and here.
thing.
No
Nah, for
shade.
real.
But they didn't wipe their face this morning for whatever reason. They didn't
Yep.
want to, or they couldn't
Yeah.
One thing I
because of
learned.
their home situation outside of their
Mhm.
control. And
Yeah.
so you
Nah,
trying to
for
put on
real.
for
Uh-huh.
you trying to put on for whom, for what, so that what?
Yeah.
But it's like low self-esteem. It's like even when it comes to like violence, let's say, like people feel like everything been taken from me, and you're not about to take this little last bit of respect from me. Like that's why it seemed like, in my opinion, why people blow up for little stuff. Like why would you take it so far to like take like kill or like slide on a block or whatever, or rob or whatever? And it's because they feel like they've been brought so low, and
Yeah.
they are in despair, and nobody loves, takes care of them. They got to do everything on their own, kind of thing. It's like they feel alone, and it's like, again, it gets back to that primal defense mechanism stuff that it's like,
That's
okay,
the good they can get back.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like
You
they
can't
feel like
fight systems
Mhm.
by yourself, but you could do a little tit for tat
right.
on a one-on-one. Yeah.
I be nerding out sometimes. Like the last time I said about this, like I heard about like, okay, people like there's dopamine and serotonin.
Mm-hmm.
So dopamine is like the go get it, like coffee, like it makes you go get jobs done. Like our country runs off that job, and it keeps people working. So we have more dopamine. Like we're being directed in that way. Serotonin,
We're constantly looking to generate dopamine.
Right.
yeah. And we're depleting it. Like we're depleting our natural stores. But they do things like social media, all that's to hijack your dopamine. All the addictions come from
Social.
so like they know how the brain works, how you wired, and video games. So much stuff is if they can keep you on that hook with the dopamine, you feel like you're doing something, and then you really wasting time and stuff. But anyway, it's still an interesting system. But the point is, serotonin is more so. They say like when your dopamine is high, you're like hard on yourself, which makes you go out and get it. It makes you think about what you don't have, which gives you ambition to go get it. But you kind of hard on yourself. Now, serotonin makes you think about the things that you have and makes you more grateful and more present. Now,
Hold on. I just think, to piggyback what you was just talking about, right? I just think this, man, is that the only reason you got low self-esteem because your circle's supposed to motivate you, period. Your family's supposed to motivate you, period. You feel what I'm saying? So
yeah, it should have been, yeah.
But how do we get people to recognize they got low self-esteem? Because there's a lot of people we know personally and whatever that walk around and they posture like they have high self-esteem, but like you looking at them like, nah, the way you carrying on, you don't even you don't like yourself.
I seen some youngers today, right? Youngers probably like 13, 14, right? And I've been to prison, so I see how they do the gang handshake and all that shit, right? So I'm just sitting up there, I'm just chilling, right? So the little young come, he put his back up, he got dreads and said, so this little man walk over there, they pop, 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 pop. So
doing that gangster, these people don't even do that.
On the hand jump, bro.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, do they even know what they doing?
I don't think so.
Then the other one come over there.
They doing hand choreography.
So I'm looking, right? So I walk over there to him. I'm like, what's up, y'all? They like, ain't nothing. What's up, Mr. Brown? I say, y'all know what y'all doing? He said, nah, man, this is a handshake.
Nah. No. See, that's
how it was, boy.
So I'm looking around, I'm like, no, that's a gang handshake.
Right.
So the one with the dreads dip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was like a high school.
On the break, I'm like, oh, he the leader.
See.
He teaching them. He trying to put them on.
Yep.
Exactly.
See, and they be doing stuff like on 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why I say
Yeah,
choreography, not to
5, 6, 7, 8 is
lessen it,
crazy.
but they
No,
be
for real.
that like they really be like, oh, you gotta do that, and next thing
Yeah.
you know,
But
And
for
this,
him,
yeah,
for him
okay.
to see that,
mm-hmm.
somebody around him doing that, so he think it's cool.
But like I think I said this before, but I gotta say it for the youngins is that if you think like no, there's no way that you can get away from rules and discipline. So if you think you're not gonna work hard and be disciplined in school, the streets and gangs are harder. Your punishment is they'll kill you and you're going to prison and you're gonna hurt your whole family. So it's like it's still rules out there, except for they way more harsher than us. We're gonna put you in take your recess, they're gonna take your life. You know what I'm saying? You tell on somebody it's a wrap. It's not a game. Like so
Right. No, there's
yeah.
always in this world, there's always going to be some level of control.
Yeah.
So it's best for you to control yourself than somebody else to have to control you.
Yeah.
And that's the discipline. Discipline yourself so nobody else got to step in or feel
And
like
you
they have to
definitely
step
don't want that. And you definitely don't want that.
You
Hey,
don't. Not as much as y'all like, not as much as folks think they do.
I'm
You
telling
don't.
you.
You don't want nobody on every move.
Oh man, and they're gonna be on every move. Why you sitting there so long? What you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And
what's that? What you put in? What you say to him? Why you so why?
No, for real.
Yeah.
For real. Wait, Mr. Teacher,
Yeah.
what you say?
I just wanted to finish that first thought I had with the serotonin and stuff. Like the point I was trying to get to was like pretty much high dopamine, you hard on yourself. Serotonin, you're more confident. If your serotonin is low, then it has to do with your self-esteem. When people's self-esteem is low, they're more prone to violence, they're more irritable because they feel like they're on the bottom of the social ladder. It counts your status socially. So you think compared to yourself, your serotonin is high when you compare yourself to other people, you're gonna feel like a leader or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like let's say a leader, all his like military people on his team abandon him, serotonin gonna drop. But when they keep pressing, we just overwork and stuff like that, we become hard on ourselves, and actually it hurts the mental health too. And really most of this stuff is mental health issues. And a lot of these youngins have seen traumatic stuff and have not been. We just now getting these, MHPs and stuff in schools, but in the inner city, like living in America, in not the nice part, you know what I'm saying, where everything is handed to you, is can be traumatic, and for young people. And we just now seeing if they can get some help, and they just not opening up in middle school, but they've already seen. I had 6 boys that seen dead bodies, so
getting help with real.
So it's like, and you never help them understand how to deal with that. So it's weird though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some stuff is traumatic, but it's like, okay, my people from, Ethiopia, it's a third world country. We have a civil war going on, all that, but it has a great history too. But the point is, their kids may not see as much traumatic stuff as our kids do.
Hell no.
Country, because it's no Drakes, no kids running around with Drakes. In Africa, the military doing that, but the government right. But when you have a youngin kill your friend that's also a youngin, that's to a young person's mind. And everybody's not that severe, but it may be some family trauma or something crazy going on. Like it don't got to be gun violence all the time. But I'm just saying, like a lot of these, when I start thinking about young people in the classroom and why they're not there. Sometimes you feel like, damn, are they depressed this young? Like, is this possible? This is supposed to be the happy time of your life. So we not cool, like as a society. Yeah.
Don't you know? And this from the household, right? Because you got single mothers out here, and you also got single fathers. So if the mother crying all the time, guess what? The kid just gonna cry all the time too because he see the moms crying. They just gonna cry. You can holler and they just gonna cry because it's in them to cry. Because if your mom's just whining all the time and that's what they're gonna do.
And you got the kids that step up. Like some of my students be checking in on me. I'm like, no, I'm good. Right. I'm good. I just need like 5 minutes. But I'm good. How are you doing? I know, like, but that's part of like they're so empathetic. And they are, by and large, children are loving and empathetic. And so even when they have like a parent who's struggling, a lot of times kids will bottle their own feelings in order to be there for their caretaker, their most loved one, the one who takes care of
Yeah.
them.
Nah,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
real.
Just like because that's what they know or that's what they're in
Yeah.
tune to do. And that's not what we
You
want.
is so true. You is so true about that. You is
They
so
check on me. I
true.
said, no, I'm good. Give me 5
Hey,
minutes. But
look,
how are you doing today?
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
Somebody
you
like
ain't lying because half of the mother got older boys and older girls, right?
Mhm.
So this was last year when the dude stole the lady in the curry out, and the son came in there and shot the dude.
What, Chicago or something, right? I remember that. You see?
Yeah,
You see?
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Because you know why, bro? His mom probably been teaching him how to fire that gun
Mm-hmm.
of where they live at. And guess what? They walked out the door, bro, because that gun was registered, bro.
Yep.
And that dude stole that lady,
He
bro.
did,
Hitting
man.
that lady, bro.
he punched somebody's mother and the boy shot him.
Yeah, yeah.
He
The
went,
mom go in the curry out to get the food. The dude at the window hollering and screaming. So she like, can I order my food? He just get the curry out and just stole it. Ah. The son ran to the door, put the hood on.
Bow.
Blown, 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 blown. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, bro. So what you said was misunderstood. They're gonna protect their family, bro.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what age they is,
Yep.
they're gonna protect their family. They don't even care if they gotta go to jail. Guess what? They're gonna protect their family.
Mm-hmm.
I think like solid ones do, but like a part of me is like if you really loved your family, you wouldn't be cutting up in school. That's how you could you ain't protecting your mother from stress. You gotta make her life easier. You out here in these streets. So when it come down to it, I think that kid was solid. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what his situation was, and he might have. I don't know the details, but like I mean, I don't blame him. But like
that was the detail.
I'm saying like he could have shot him, but did he kill him? That's different. Like
no, he killed him, man. The dude. Listen, the dude. His mom had a bonnet on and flip flops, bro, like a robe, bro. Come to get the
food. He wasn't
food,
squaring
bro.
up with him or nothing.
Nothing, bro. He straight hit up. Ah! The second Joe took his life. That was it. Son came through the door. Fine.
Yeah. It is what it is. But like,
but I think it's long term versus short term, right? Like, am I thinking about like upholding my family name as I walk through my, you know what I'm saying? Like, not really. Right. But like on a one-on-one, and you did something to my mother right now, I'm getting my immediate look back, right? And so there's a tie-in that affects adults and kids at this point in this country. Immediacy at all like measures. We want immediate reactions, we want immediate consequences. And I think that the whole it used to be a thing like, oh, you embarrassing your family. Now you got your mother looking crazy. You got this. She's gonna come up here and she's gonna look crazy when she comes. That the shame doesn't exist the way that it used to.
Because the parents ain't doing their part. If I think if the parents are good parents, then it's appropriate to think, oh, they put food on my table. Like I know some of these kids, their parents doing everything, and they still want to be in the streets. Ones, they not doing what them kids is doing too much. Like your parents did too much for you to be trying to do this. You know what I'm saying? Now I know in other cases there's some parents that are, let's say, trash parents. Like they not good to their kids. They don't, they're not sacrificial or whatever. It could go even further, like neglect, abuse, or something like that. Then I wouldn't say do it for your parents, do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you
hey, listen. So, you listen. You sound good. Well, them youngers ain't trying to hear that, bro. When they come to their mother, bro, they don't care about none of that, bro.
But you hear what I'm saying? If they really love their mother, they wouldn't stress her out every day.
Listen,
right? You're right. You're right. You're not
wrong. You are right. But they kids and they got to prove a point, bro.
It's about their pride. It ain't about their mother. It's about you did something so disrespectful to me. But if they love their mother, it's different. Like, because like you going to prison, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's gonna make her feel like honored either. You know what I'm saying? But like,
not for nothing. So like I'm not trying to be like
Right.
some of these parents, but like we like again as an educator, like I have to be aware of what kind of trauma or what the parents like experience was when they was in school,
Yeah.
because like there's an assumption of like, oh well, the teacher, like all parents are going to respect and side with the teacher or whatever, and that joint is dead nowadays, right?
Oh, that's
Because we
good.
had a lot of parents who was like who had problematic teachers or who could barely read and
No, for
calculate whatever like
real.
that, but they
For real.
had troublesome school experiences, and so to them school is a thing that has to be done because by law I gotta send you. I don't want, you know what I'm saying, I don't want the people calling me.
No, hey,
But at the same
I think that's
time,
a good thing though.
don't let that teacher talk to you crazy
Yeah.
because you my son, you my child.
Yeah.
And no, my teacher talked to me crazy, and they're not gonna do that to you,
That's
right?
it,
So
huh?
there's a lot of that.
That's it, huh? No,
Even
for
with-
real. That's it.
And
Go ahead,
then
Kurt.
no, just you're right though. But like, I think one thing that like, all right, so most of our people been through some traumatic stuff, and
Absolutely.
a lot of times it's a lot of traumatic stuff. So it's like we got a lot of resilience, but then there's a situation like you saying, it's like I think just in general, something that I've learned is like you cannot let this one thing that happens to you in your life dictate your whole life. Like,
Can't.
and when you get older, you do go back and be like, dang, I've been holding on to this because of this experience. And they say that don't come out in the 30s. That's what they're saying. But it's crazy. You start thinking about your childhood, your traumas, and all that, and you start, working through it, and because it made you who you are. But some of the stuff you need to let go of, like I gotta prove this to somebody, this and that. Like that hit me in like my 30s, like early 30s. So it's like, that's when I'm like, okay, boom. I've been trying to prove myself to the world for so long because I felt like I didn't get enough of that. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, so I fought for that, and I got it that way. But it's like, it just was like, okay, it lost its power over me when I realized what it was. It was this little thing, this traumatic event. A lot of people got daddy issues. Some people got neglect.
I was just about to hop on that, right? But I'm gonna leave that alone for next Tuesday.
But that's not all you are. That's a part of your life.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a chapter, not the whole thing.
Yeah. So all right.
Event cannot
we always going off the questions, dog. We always off the questions.
We going.
All right. Let's move on to the second question. All right. Why are youngins crashing out? Don't take school serious and out in the cities. Mr. Teacher's on you. I mean, misunderstood.
I did it.
I thought, I feel like it connects back to like what we were saying earlier. Well, what I was saying earlier, part of it, right? The crashing out. It's like it's so loaded, and crashing out has different levels. So for me, as an educator, what I'm seeing as crashing out is, to me, the result of like some kids, like their formative or like their most important years are spent on computers, so they don't know how to even like be socially. They don't have any social skills, and so they used to like being at home, like they're like when they was really like learning those skills, like how to play, how to, you know what I'm saying, how to share. You know what I'm saying? It was all I don't have to share because I'm at home. I don't have to do these things. I'm at home. And so nowadays it becomes like, I'm going to interrupt somebody while they're clearly talking to somebody else. And if they don't respond to me, I got an attitude now. Right? Or I, you know what? I don't want to be in this. I don't want to be in here right now. So I'm gonna do too much so I can get sent out of this space.
No.
Right? And so the crashing out to me it's really revealed a lot of weakness. Crashing out is, to me, it's a branch of weakness, because like some of the stuff I see people crashing out for, it's like, yeah, so you didn't have patience.
You spoiled.
So you couldn't wait your turn. So you just didn't get what you wanted. So you couldn't come up with a different idea. Right? It's just a lot of like, you didn't give it to me right away. Like, it's baby stuff. You ain't give it to me right away, so now I'm mad.
Entitlement.
You an angry baby, right? Entitlement. So crashing out in school, whatever. I think crashing out is a new thing. Like we've seen it. Like, yes, terminology. We've seen it in smaller things, but like this whole like crash out. I'm crashing out. I'm doing the most. I'm throwing desks and stuff like that in school.
Nah, that's for
public
you. They doing that for the
in
grand.
non-alternative schools. It's a new thing. It's part of the put on generation.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the you know what I'm saying. I'm not getting my binky, my bottle, and my pacifier right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really don't know how to deal with like rejection if I'm being told no. I don't know how to deal with blah 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 blah. And I'm also being fed these messages from the adults in my life who say you gotta go there, but you don't gotta respect the people that's there.
Mm-hmm.
So that I feel like those are some of the things that feed the crash out behavior. I won't say we had a crash out culture, but this crash out behavior, and most of the crash outs be like over the most ridiculous things.
Mm-hmm.
Crash out over like like I ain't gonna hold you. Crash out over the lunches. The lunches is trash.
Right.
The food offerings are garbage. Crash out over that. Crash out over you're not getting hot breakfast.
You
getting milk and
That's
yogurt.
Revolutionary crash.
You getting 2 dairies. Crash out over that.
They ain't gonna make sense over that because you know why they ain't gonna crash over that? Because they be starving.
And I'm willing to give, but it's not enough.
Yeah,
it's not. I always hold extra snacks because I understand.
Right.
But if there was stuff to crash, there's plenty of things like that are crash outable. But what I'm seeing people react to is like low level stuff that doesn't require crash out.
Right.
What about what you think about like the real ones, like the ones that like, okay, DC has some of the highest dropout rates in the country. So for me, crash out
or dropout?
No, like the way when they say crash out, they mean like I don't care about nothing no more. I'm gonna go slide, or I don't care about nothing. I'm gonna go fight, or like just lose control. Like let your anger get the best of you. Like
that's crazy, dog.
That's what they think, and that's what they think is cool. But I think if you in school, you know what I'm saying, if you're in a class for 90 minutes and you ain't do no work, you crashing. Like we're like I'm gonna say, hey, look, give me the drum roll. So look, when I say something, y'all say you crashing.
Hey,
all day long, don't do no work. You wasted 10 years and don't know nothing out of it. You
crashing.
Not crashing.
Listen, they got one youngin at the school, y'all. They got one youngin at the school. Shorty come to school to sit on the toilet.
She's splashing out at that point. Like, ain't no crash out. Like, sitting on a toilet is crazy.
Yeah, they don't. He's sitting
in the bathroom all day long.
You don't care no more. You don't care about nothing. You just gonna do something wild.
She ain't crashed out. She just pulled over at that point.
That's it. Just like
you on his shoulder. You just
class. I'm gonna sit right on this toilet all day, be on my phone. Lunchtime, and go back on the toilet, bro.
Oh, be on my phone now. See if you ain't had your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you still would have been out of class, but not all day.
So what? Like usually, like when you little, like okay, the sky's the limit. You could be anything you put your mind to. This and that. If they told you that, you should have got. But growing up, we knew, like even now, we had more dreams when we was younger, probably than we do now. It's like it's supposed to be positive. Like you supposed to look at the future positively, optimistically. So what makes somebody give up on their future so young to where? When we talking about we got kids, so like it looks like what it looks like in school. It starts with I don't care about school, but really it's like when somebody say they let go of themselves, they don't care about because they just probably out stressed or whatever. I don't know what it is. They carrying something that they have a process and they letting that event or those circumstances probably tell them a story about themselves or whatever, and they just lose their motivation. And I think a lot of kids, like I said, like if you're not motivated in school, probably something wrong at home. Like you probably dealing with something. You might be like not fully depressed, but you might be, dealing with some depressing type of stuff. Not that you're a depressed person, but like you going through a lot.
And they do though, bro. And they do. Don't you know?
But I think we have to consider that when we ask the world of them too. Yeah, to be honest, I gotta do it myself.
Them kids watch their little brothers and little sisters, bro.
Yeah, they tired, then they gotta do their homework.
Watch them, take care of them, raise them.
Take care of them, raise them. Some of them be mad, bro, because they gotta come to school, bro, because they be so tired, bro.
But the crashing starts with the family. Then crash. The parents, gave up. They ain't got no motivation. They tired.
It
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
So
Yeah,
we
they
need,
all
and then that energy carries down.
everything.
Yeah.
For
I feel
real, like
like go
everything.
ahead.
Go
No, go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
good. No, I'm good.
Nah,
Good.
I feel like there's it's a combination of things, right? Like there's the like we gotta think about like the time period we're in. Like there's a combination of like how come if I'm doing something I should get an immediate reward. So like what is the invest like we've heard of the word investment, but investment in time? You mean I gotta keep doing something for X amount of years
See?
or days or weeks or whatever before I get
Man.
my reward? So that's the first thing, right? Going back to what
Yeah,
you were saying,
no,
Mr. Teacher, like it's always a hunt for
Yeah.
serotonin.
yeah.
Serotonin is like a biochemical drug.
Mm,
And
mm,
so if I'm not getting that hit,
mm,
A
mm.
dopamine
I'm
hit,
crashing out. If
yeah.
I'm not getting that hit, if I'm not immediately
Get
getting my
ready.
score for something, if I'm at school, if I'm not immediately getting a snack because I answered the question,
Nah,
if I'm not
for real.
immediately going to the bathroom when I ask, if my teacher not immediately talking back to me when I'm talking to shouting at them, whatever, I don't care if they're talking to somebody else.
See,
If
it
I
sounds like
can't go where I want to
technology.
go immediately, I'm crashing out because I don't have what I
The
need.
willpower.
Whereas if I'm on my computer or my phone, I could just I don't like this video, boom, scroll. I don't like this one, boom, scroll.
That's
I don't
where
have to say for nothing. I don't have to say for nothing I don't
When
like.
I say that,
Whereas
I
they
say
get to
that.
school,
Telling you.
you gotta stay for 8
No.
hours.
That's why.
But welcome to work.
That,
Welcome to work. You gotta stay.
Yeah.
that's why the Bible, patience is a virtue. Like that's something that
Yeah.
people should be building
Yeah.
in most religions. Like actually, but it's like I think that sounds like technology is making us more like microwave age. Like it's making us more
Absolutely.
irritable. Like now, like we spoiled. Like everybody's spoiled, and then kids already spoiled. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them already spoiled. Then you add that because like some of the way they talk to adults, like it's just nasty. Like the way
It is,
we
bro.
see them today, they don't like. It's different, bro. Like it's not like it ain't like it ain't really money.
No.
Because most Americans got shelter and food.
Mm-hmm.
You can't like on a regular and don't really have to worry about it. Some people do, but like in some countries they worry about like food.
They do.
They worry about
Part of daily.
it's
Yeah.
like, but they don't disrespect no elders like that. And it's like it's not Black America, it's America. Like it's just, we are rich and spoiled, like to the point where we have to get gym memberships because we have a sedative lifestyle. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like we got this, consumer based country or whatever. So it's like that is crazy, like the way these kids it is making them more spoiled. And even when it comes to the type of people that take their anger out on society when they don't get their way, it's the same mentality. Now it's different because I believe like you can like the way when bad stuff happen, I learned somebody by how they react. Are they hard on themselves? Do they be blaming themselves? I did this wrong. What I do? Or do they be like the victim all the time? They be like, man, they did this, such and such did that, and never take responsibility.
Yeah.
The ones that always play the victim be the biggest offenders.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the victim, like, oh, I did this because this happened. I did this because this happened. Like they had no choice but to crash out. They try to make it seem like, but it's like,
why you make me do this? I don't want to be like this.
Now,
right.
like let's say I drop a glass, I could be like, man, I'm such a stupid person. I'm an idiot. Like I'm too hard on myself, right? Or I could be like, you stupid table, and like hit the table.
Or you scared me. You made me drop the glass. You're loud. Right? Like what?
But the crash outs be hitting the table, bro. The crash outs be so entitled and spoiled.
And irrational.
Like, if I'm not happy, I'm taking,
everybody.
And wow, this is wild.
But you know what's crazy? Because when them people that shoot all them people, that's what they doing. They crashing out. But you know why the reason they probably did that, bro? Because they watch these video games.
That probably not helping either. I think the technology, I'm telling you, it's wild.
And they think it's cool. Just like, man, shot the whole market up. All people.
Yep.
And told the white lady, "Oh, excuse me." I said, "Oh, no." And it looked like autograph. Grand Theft. They love that shit, bro. So they get a drill and especially don't let them get bullied in school and all that. They gonna come from that person.
There was
They
this
gonna-
game. Now there was this game when I was younger. Like that's the thing, right? Like people, the crash outs often they go after the ones who ain't really going who are on the same level of, you know what I'm saying, crash out as them or like violence, whatever. Like there was this when I was younger, there was this game, a computer game, and it was called Postal. And they made it after this guy who had gone into he used to work at the post office. He had gone to the post office or whatever, and he had done something similar, like where he just took the lives of his former coworkers after he got fired. And so in the game, like part of like the bonus scenes was like you go into like these safe spaces and you attack the people that's in these safe spaces, like a school, for example. And that's it. Like the part of the crash out is crashing out. A lot of times has to do with I don't feel like I'm in control of my situation. And so I'm going to look for a situation I can control. Some people I can control. Some folks that's not going to fight back. Some folks that is not prepared for me. And so I'm going to crash out in them spaces. I'm not going to crash out in the spot where I know that I'm outmatched.
No, for real.
They never crash out in the space where they're unmatched. We're outmatched, rather.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
They never going to do that because like I got the definition of crash out. I just pulled it up too. So this is the definition on a crash out: falling asleep unexpectedly or losing control, whether in a physical or emotional way.
Oh,
that second one is it.
Nah, they got the urban.
But some people do fall asleep; they black out.
Yep,
You're not even.
That's what it
you're
is.
not even because you so worked up here. You're not thinking in your mind no more.
Anger, honestly, like when I was younger, like now, like I'm older, I'm better now. But it's like when I was younger, I had to work on anger, and it's like it cuts off your executive function. Like any emotion, anything you like when you overexcited, the emotions get the best of you.
You're just trying to get that out.
You're not making the smartest decision. You're making emotional decisions. And anger, one of them ones that blinds you. Like even me, Bible guy. So my name's Samson. So he was like this strong, angry dude, but at the end he was blinded. He like when it was symbolic of how anger blinds you, or lust or anything that just the passions. If you're too passionate, and that's why they like. And that's a whole nother thing because that goes into some of these boys are too, they don't know how to deal with their emotions. Like they may not be as emotionally mature as the girls. So
and it also come from home.
And what I'm saying is a lot of what some people think that like because they're raised by women, they try to lead emotionally, but when guys lead emotionally, it don't be as eloquent.
Like, but it's emotional is anger too.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's usually violence with God, like when they or lust or violence, and it just because this question came up when it comes to like violence in the inner cities and stuff like that, and it's like somebody was like, okay, a lot of these guys, they don't have a father, so they didn't learn how to control their emotions, and
all the time.
And some people think like women have a better demand over it. So you try to play that game, but you're not as good at in emotional intelligence. And so now you just following lust, following this and that, and you're not being rational. And girls be more rational too at an early age. So it's just
no, we don't.
No,
we don't react as outwardly and as loud.
Yeah, but not with smart. Yeah.
With like there's a lot of emotional dysregulation and just immaturity as the generations go, right? Myself and my own generation included, right? There's things that we didn't have to do or had to deal with or whatever, either like period that our former generations had to, or that just like we had to deal with it, but like we were coddled in a different kind of way or whatever. So like there's like I see a lot of emotional immaturity in my girls students and in my boys students, whatever. Now, granted, the boys be a little like they lag a little behind, but the girls are already behind too. So the boys are extra behind.
That's what I'm saying.
Not in general, but in some cases. And I think a part of that is like it's not enough to simply have like for a girl to have a mother be raised by a mother or a boy to be raised by the father. You need to be raised by a mother or father who is a whole person.
Yep.
Right? Because you could have an emotionally unstable mother. We know this. You can have an emotionally unstable mother, and that's all you learning. She raising you, but that's what you learn is her instability. That's how you learn how to deal with things. You could have an emotionally cold or cut off father, and so you never learn how to deal with your emotions outside of rage, anger, frustration.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Like
that's
so,
a lot.
the range is crazy for emotions, and I say this because I didn't have emotionally available parents. I did not have emotionally stable parents, but if they weren't terrible, but they did the best they could with what they had, and they didn't have emotionally equipped, healthy parents, right? And so I'm reaping what has been sown, but I'm aware of what has been sown.
Yeah, now you got onyership,
right? And that's the thing. The awareness, it will get you right every time.
I just think, man, with the lower ones, man, is that you gotta find a way. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't even like okay, we do say the parents, but it ain't even the parents. It's they friends. It's they friend who know a friend who know a friend who know a friend.
But that's access.
Yeah.
But your parents help you with discernment.
Right.
Your peers don't help you with discernment. They gonna filter whatever to you from what they get. It's your parents that help you with discernment.
There you go.
Yeah, but sometimes it is crazy, but kids will have to chart their own path. Some of them, like maybe once they get, but school is really a ticket, a really good ticket to just better yourself in school. You can't get a job at this age or whatever. And if you just get a job and don't finish school, it's gonna be hard to get a good job.
Man.
You at least got to make it through high school. I would say, if you want to make it like economically, but
they got social media now.
But like, yeah,
influence.
They know they could get paid. They ain't even think about school, bro. Did you see the youngins? Did you see the youngins? They on the Navy Yard 30 and 40 deep, jumping people, going to different places, U Street, jumping people, and they had a camera. Guess what?
Wow.
They want to run it up so they could start getting paid.
I mean, I wish some of them was that smart. Like, I want them to do that business, but like, I wouldn't say big off the fights, but like, I want them. I got youngins doing social media now. They doing a great job.
Yeah.
But it's like, even when it comes to that, I assume a lot of the people that's going up on YouTube, it's not like they're not smart or they don't work hard. They work hard and they smart to run your own business. And what you learn about like these crash outs, like that. Somehow they make it like to the NFL or very rare because it takes discipline and respect to make it to the NFL or NBA. But they're like, I don't care about school. I can make millions doing this. This idea is even the ones that make it, like your King Vons, they die. Like, look at Lil Durk. So if you don't learn these skills, it don't matter if you make it or not. You're going to crash.
How long it last?
Aaron Hernandez, people making the NFL and then still murder, and it's a wrap for your life. So it's no shortcuts. You got to work hard in the street. Like I said, there's rules in the street and in the school, and the school's safe. You're gonna die. This is the dangerous place that you don't want to be in. But there's rules there too. You can't run from rules and respect. You definitely can't be disrespectful.
And I'm gonna sprinkle a dumbass name. I'm sorry, but like even when you're not hurting somebody else, but your stupidness will get you. Plaxico Burress, what were you doing?
I like that.
You got your own self, but still. You had no business, buddy.
No.
Buddy, you had no business. What are you doing?
No, for real. I just think, man, just snatch them. If they know you, if you know them, snatch them.
Yeah.
And they in. That's it.
Stop crashing out.
Right, you hear me?
Because one thing I just can't. If you know more about different kind of guns. Then you know math vocabulary.
Come on,
science vocabulary.
You
throwing me off.
Yeah,
like it's crazy, and they smart, and it's a waste. You using your smarts to backdoor somebody and then get caught lacking later. She's gonna be smart in prison, trying to do these gang signs and all that stuff in prison, trying to get around the guards. These intelligent people that took the wrong path because something was wrong. They didn't feel whole. They might need to talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. Find a mentor, find somebody you can be open with if it ain't your own people. But there's people out here that care. But it's like this crash. It just don't make sense. It's sad because we got so much potential in our community. Like boys that we seeing. This is not who our kids are. Yeah, they're not showing 100% of who they are, and it's not up to them because they still kids. It's not just on them.
Right.
But
the
it's like
the creativity.
It's not who they are. Yeah, and they too smart to be doing this. Like,
nah, for real. They go to third question, y'all. What's different?
We had an hour. My bad.
Don't worry about it. Gotcha. What's different can mentors, coach make on at-risk youth?
The difference is that coaches and mentors can make on at-risk youth. All right, the term at risk, like what is at risk? Like normally, like when I think of at risk, it's like somebody saying like, oh, these kids are impoverished, there's violence. But like honestly, I felt like I was at risk when I started going to school with like majority not folks who look like me. I was ready to crash out.
Right.
And I could have used a mentor. I could have used somebody that looked like me to help me navigate the space. But so I feel like a lot of us are at risk.
Yeah.
A lot of many of our kids are at risk. It's just a matter of opening up. What does at risk mean? Because are we doing charity where we're just specifically looking for certain types of risk, or are we really caring about all the kids and the whole child? Right. Are you at risk because you're LGBTQ and whatever like that, and your whole community or whatever is making you feel away, and you might take yourself out of here? Yeah. Are you at risk because your parent is always asking you to stay home and watch a little sibling, and you're not able to go to school? Are you at risk because there's always something happening on the block? Are you like, you know what I'm saying? Like at risk, it has so many different levels.
Right.
And that's one thing, right? And so with that, I feel like that opens up mentorship, because I feel like a lot of times when people think about mentorship, they're thinking, okay, I'm looking for at-risk youth. I'm looking for a disadvantage or whatever. Like it's a lot of like terminology that comes with it, when it's really you're just looking for a child. Because as far as I'm concerned, all the kids are at risk right now.
Yeah,
I've been talking about all the ways that they're at risk. Social media, regular media, the school, like they're all the kids are at risk. So what's the impact of a coach or a mentor? A mentor is going to give you some insight into their experience and how it connects to yours.
There you go.
A coach is going to push you along the way, no matter whether it's your track coach, your basketball coach, your math coach, your reading coach. They're going to push you.
For real.
They're going to tell you what the gameplay is. They're going to look at you and they're going to say, all right, boom, this is how they're going to run this, and this is how you prepare yourself to be ready for. And so if we think about all youth as at risk at some level,
I mean, they are.
Then we ain't got to worry about specifying, because the thing is, what I've noticed is that over the years, it's like kids who they may not get in trouble a lot, they don't get sent out, they this, that, and the third, but they're in crisis also.
Yes, they is.
And so if we either think about all the kids as at risk, then we can start to address, okay, well, as an adult, as a possible mentor and coach, what kids can I reach more closely? Because some people may not feel like they can reach an at quote unquote traditional at risk youth, because I don't feel like racially or gender, I don't connect with them. But if we think of all, we think right, you know what I'm saying? But like if we think of like all the kids as potentially at risk just because of what society is, then that means that we have that many more people who are equipped to support kids. And so I want us to open up what at risk is, and I want us to like just in general, whatever. Like I'm not saying like us here?
The spirit.
Like
I
what is
got
at risk? These are kids. If you're a child, you're at risk. Period.
Yeah.
You can't
Okay.
make no decisions for yourself. You can't house yourself. You can't feed yourself. So automatically you are at risk
At
because
risk.
you are at risk of whatever adult you're around.
Yeah. No,
And you gotta hope and pray that you got a good adult around you.
amen.
So like
And so all
helping
the kids are at risk.
now, yeah. I mean, I think like I told Miss Understood earlier. I said, way Trump moving, we all at risk.
Hey, listen, okay? Because listen,
like,
I'm the kids, okay?
I have a mentor.
For
Like
real.
I'm
Yeah.
34. I'm 34, and I have a
Mhm.
mentor. I have older people that I check in with and pray for me and things like that. Cause
Yep.
like you know what I'm saying, there was a time when like I ain't gonna say I was a crash out, but everybody had their moments. So
Mhm.
it's like I'm like, man, I need to check in. I need somebody like praying for me, like, cause you know what I'm saying. And I learned that because when I was younger, I did everything on my own. Like I made my own path, but I understood like I need older people wisdom.
Mhm.
At a certain age, like once I grew up, I was like, all right, like they seen the world, and I don't want to go through the stuff. If I ain't got to go through it, let me just listen to.
Right.
That's how you learn. That's how you learn fast too.
Humble.
Everybody got a story of messing up in life.
But you
Right.
probably bump your head a couple times before you got
No,
to
that's
that
what
point,
before
right?
I realized before I was humble.
Just
I was
chill.
humble.
Right. Let me
And then I was like, all right, let me go ahead and learn again. Actually,
Mhm.
I used to like it was like wow, I had never read a book until I was like a whole book until I was like 17.
Mhm,
You know what I'm saying, had some life happen, and I read the Bible was my first book. And
That's
then I made some promises, you know what I'm saying, at that time that like I would stop crashing, like and I'll go to college and all that. And so but yeah, that being said, it's like so okay, everybody's at risk. I think even older, like we have to deal with life's pressures and stuff. We just
Mhm.
learned we got some coping mechanisms down pat, hopefully. But some people they still like eating like junk food or drinking too much or
Yeah.
their body. Even older people like need to learn how to deal with life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like let alone kids. But as far as at risk, like when we talk about kids, they're more at risk, all of them, because they can't feed themselves, they can't work. And as they get older, they get better, they be more self-sufficient. But
No,
the ones that are more at risk are the ones that don't already have
Yeah.
mentor voice, dad, mom, whoever, and they
Mhm.
might have them, but like Misunderstood said, emotionally distant, got their own issues. So you really left on your own still, even though they physically there to some degree. Some people got parents, and it's worse than if they did like let's say some people had two parents, and it's worse than if they had the one.
Mhm. You're right. You ain't wrong.
What's going on, you don't know what's going on. But a lot of times they think about father not in the home, mom doing everything, he not paying child support, something, whatever the case may be, he not in the picture for some reason. And like, because when I was working at DC trade schools, that's where I got the term from. At risk was like they did it based on economics. But after hearing you, I agree. I think if we're going to say what's at risk is somebody that doesn't have a strong support system.
Mhm.
And you can become part of a line to a strong support system for them, whether that be a church or sports or whatever your thing is, mosque. Like, I mean, I believe in Jesus, but it's like it's better to have people,
You're right.
that have your back in general than being isolated in this cold world. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's important that it's really like those people that don't already have those voices. So if it's a father's voice they missing, or a mother's voice, or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, that's what some teachers, they wish they could do all of things, but they just can't. Like most of your job is, I'm a math teacher, I teach math. I do try to tell you some game about life and stuff, but if you're not listening to me about this, you're not gonna listen about that. But some of them do. Some of them,
that's the thing. Some of them,
music, they know my lyrics.
They get more from that, the life lessons, than they ever do from the 2 plus times this, that, and the third.
Right. Because I was a mentor first before I became a teacher. So I was a mentor, life coach, and all that good stuff. After I got my act together a little bit, but I still had to learn stuff. Like I still had to grow up. You know what I'm saying? But I still I cleaned up and started trying to show people what I felt like was the right path. And like I went into social work and all that. And then years later, I became a teacher. So that's the real reason why I teach. And I teach in hard areas because they need that. Like I've taught in all kinds of areas, but in some other areas, you're not appreciated as much,
right?
Because they already got a strong support system.
Nah, for real.
If somebody go out, you know what I'm saying, and say like, listen, I know, you know what I'm saying, you have a lot of potential. You just ain't got nobody speaking into your life, into your life. It's a shame because that don't cost us nothing to do. You know somebody's struggling, and but
we're gonna say this for next Tuesday. All
right.
We're gonna say it next Tuesday, but we turned up. You feel what I'm saying? We turned up.
As we
so
do.
Man, I love it.
This was great, y'all.
It was,
man. I already
know. I love it when we get off the question too.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, it's like fun.
That's it. So listen, YouTube family, thank y'all for tuning in to Yo Cuz podcast. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, drop a comment. Y'all know who it is. Go ahead, bro.
And Mr. Teacher underscore is at underscore Mr. Teacher official. I just dropped the youngins, they play football. We call it trenches football and all that. So go check out that video we dropped today. One of my students was okay with me showing him getting trucked.
Right.
I was like, it was a good one. So we going up though. Yo Cuz podcast Tuesdays 8:00.
We lit.
All right, so this is Misunderstood. You can find me on Instagram at Miss Blackman if you learning, Miss BLKMN if you learning. We out here Tuesdays. Come see us. Yeah, on the podcast. 8:00.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in Yo Cuz podcast. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, indeed. All right, y'all.
All right, take care.
Y'all
you
too.
already know. 100.